Hello, everybody. Remember our old friend Epidemius? She's back. Our music for the dentist. When you're sitting in there waiting for the dentist, you hear this music that goes on and on forever. That's Epidemius. I love it. It's music to code by. Okay, it's Thursday, February 9th, as you see on our super monitor here. Bingo. It's like magic. Electronic magic. With the magic fingers here. So many things going on in this laptop. Got these channels mixing together. And hopefully Epidemius isn't overpowering my diatribe. Alright, we're gonna switch these views. We're gonna switch cameras. Bingo! I'm just used to being on this side and that being over on that side. Yeah, we go to full screen mode. There we go. Another magic of the that's probably a Mac thing. MacBook Pro, actually. I got this special wire that came over. I moved that's going in there, that's going in there, and that's going back in there. Epidemius is being played by the MacBook Pro. Let me see, watch. See? And that is being fed through this wire back in through here. It's coming around at third base. Oh my God. Talk about Rube Goldberg. But anyway, I got, see, there used to be a little doodad down here. There used to be, in the version 1 of this soundboard, there used to be an earphone jack down there. They did away with it. So I'm bringing the sound out of the MacBook, and it's going in to the 4th channel. Oh, you can't see the soundboard. It's going into the soundboard in channel 4. And my microphone is in channel 1. The boom mic. Ba-boom, bum, bum. It goes around and it's connected to the desk. But I had this trusty microphone on this little guy. You can hear everything with this. Well, so I decided to take the microphone clip off of this, get a screwdriver, and put it on the boom, ba-boom, and there we go, rotate that around there. You can see our logo. When Marilyn was the news lady at the, that I was It was so much fun. I was jumping out of my skin. We're in the spin room for the presidential debate. Oh my God. With Obama and Romney. And all these key Republicans, key Democrats, they're all spinning around in this room that's about a third of the size of a standard gymnasium. And the rest of it, you had all these desks lined up for the press people to be typing into their newspapers and all that kind of stuff. But no, we're video, man. We're video. I'm taking pictures, and Marilyn's a news lady with this microphone, and it's going around in through her ear, and I'm talking to her in her ear, and she's... Oh, God. I used all my brain cells to get everything set up for that. That was, I'm just a one-man band here, so we had to make it happen. And I have it on our 416-1100 website. Just look for political something or other. And I get a few hundred pictures, and we have Marilyn, the news lady, interviewing some pretty good characters, including the robust former governor of New York, big tall guy. And if you're from New York, you can remember who that governor was. We'll leave that as a stump the professor question. Anyway, so now I'll show you my latest thing is I'm self-diagnosing myself. Self-diagnosing yourself? Okay, here we go. So here's the facts. Let me turn down Epidemius a little bit. So I have a fax, see, from patient Wilson to Dr. Lubin. So we're talking about, I put Freestyle Libre in my arm. This arm, and this arm. Every 2 weeks you switch arms, just so you don't tire out an arm with holes being poked in it. But look what it gives me. It's magical. There it is. Ooh, my blood sugar is 217. Yeah, see. I just had a cup of noodles for a late lunch, and it has shot my blood sugar. Well, you can't see it. Let me. You can see it here. There it is. I can try. See there, I was nice shape 140. See the time up here and your score. Milligrams per deciliter. If you're interested. All right, so look at that. So that's above range. See, the green is range. So that'll come down because what goes up comes down. But, I'm kind of like, so I've taken myself off of, let's go back to where I was before we got this stunning news. And I'm going to be hypoglycemic right in front of you. Oops. So this has to do with patient Jimmy talking to my doctor. So I sent him a fax. It's very hard to, you have to be clever to communicate with these doctors. So I told Marilyn, she said, "Are you going to call the doctor?" I said, "Of course I'm going to call the doctor, but I'm going to send him a fax first." "You're going to do what?" Yep, I got his fax number. And I got his direct fax number from my friendly pharmacist at Publix pharmacy. I said, hey, can you tell me what the fax number is for Dr. Lubin? Because I'd like to, I need to, because we're having a difficulty getting this prescription pill. So he gave me the fax number, so I wrote it down. So I've done, this is not the first time I've done this. So I'm practicing here in a little bit. So if we look at one of my, so what we want to look at is my GMI for 30 days. See, it's 6.9. So I'm doing good on managing my blood sugar levels. So instead of having a giant bowl, it's just a big bowl. And if I get smart, it'll be a smaller bowl. So what so I stopped taking metformin because I've just read too much over the years and talked to doctors, friends of mine that are doctors, and doctors that are, in which they're in charge of my medical regimen. So I would rather use these NovoPens. Now this is the NovoPen 6, which see the 6, and then it's got jink jink. Well, that little jink jink to the right of the 6 means that it communicates. It tells it. Let's see, where is it? Do I have a picture of that? I probably don't. But anyway, if you go on to, if you look at the NovoPen 6 spec sheets for it, on the end of the pen, where this cap is, you pull that out, and then you dial in how much insulin you want. And then you push it. You take this pen off, which exposes a place where the needle goes, and you put these, screw-on needles on the end of the pen. You just stick it in your belly fat. Everyone's got belly fat. The needle is so skinny. It's the thickness of 2 strands of hair, if you can believe it. That's the diameter of that little needle. So you stick it in, you don't even know what happening. You got to be very careful you don't bend the needle, because the needle is so fragile. But it's essentially pain-free. One of the male nurses in the hospital, last time I was in the hospital, my blood sugar ran up like this. Oh, jeez. That's my 420 alarm. For whatever reason, that's on. Okay, 6.9, there we go. And that's from my last 30 days. So, that's my latest thing, is to figure this, because, I don't know if typically the doctors, are not necessarily up. Let's see, there it is. The NovoFine Plus. And the reason for the plus is this. I guess you can see this. This has got a big surface here. So you just stick the needle in all the way till it gets right to this surface right here. So you don't have to figure out how far to put it in. You just put it in all the way until your skin gets right to there. The needle is just four millimeters long. So you're not going to stick it in too far. You know, you just want to get it in under your skin, your epidermis, and get it into the fatty tissue. And you inject the insulin in there, and then your body, your bloodstream can pick it up. It's rapid acting. That's the one thing I need to make note of. I have a what do you call it? An appointment with a tele-appointment. I spoke to Dr. Lubin's nurse, very nice lady, and I said, well, you can see, but you're in my file, right? Well, I sent Dr. Lubin a fax. Let's make sure it's in the file, and if you don't mind, could you just take a second and read it? So we can go over it together, so I can practice, because we're going to talk to the doctor on Monday. So let's practice. So there's my fax, and we're talking. I want to make sure he knows that I'm not taking metformin anymore, and because that's see, he increased my dose to 3 times a day from 2 times a day. Well, I'm going 3 times a day to 0 times a day because I read too much about that, and I don't want to start taking, high concentrations of metformin because I've heard too many bad things about metformin. So let's not do it. Seems like my daughter is making. Look at that beautiful whatever figurine it's made, and it's she's put gold leaf all the way around the edges, and then painted on this seahorse. Pretty cool. Digitally or somehow she has done that. Here's another one where she's how cool is that? And here she put silver leaf on this one, and you can that'd be earrings from Maryland. Native American. What do you do? She's not neither of us are oyster eaters. Forget it. Don't want any part of it. See, so here's now here's a 33 gauge, 4 millimeter 33 gauge. But that's even 1 gauge skinnier than the 32 gauge. But we're going to try the 32 gauge because those are the needles that are made by these guys. Novofine. And you can see it's 32 gauge. Oops. Disposable needle. It has this nice surface. Just stick it all the way in till you feel it on your wherever. 4 millimeters is 26 millimeters in an inch, or 25.4 if you want to be exact. So 4 millimeters is like not quite a quarter of an inch. Like 3/16 of an inch. It's not much. So you just pop that in, you squeeze the little thingy on top that you have set for like 2 units on what wasn't blood situation, which is, let's go back home here again, 218 milligrams per deciliter. Oh boy. So, let me bomb out of this side. Yeah, if you bomb out of it, it screams at you. Just to make sure they're connected. So that's what been my latest experiment. Spoke to the nurse today, so she's guided me into this. She says, who's prescribing the insulin? I says, yours truly, Dr. Thomas Lubin. He's going to be the prescriber. And this is my plan. And I've got my graph, and I think I sent in that fax a copy of my chart. Let's look at my chart. Let's see, can we look at it on here? I think I copied it and made a picture of it. Oh, see, here's what I was going through. You know, the uniform up and down, you know, different kinds of different brands. There you go, here's NovaPen 4. See, this is the way the needles, they sell a brand of needle where you have this, and then you have a little protrusion, and then you got the needle. Well, I don't want that. I like the other where the needle comes right out of the base of that, and you push that whole thing right again, and then you know, you don't have to think about where to stop the needle. It just stops right up against the edge. Anyway, so NovaPen, so these doodads, this orange thing, is the Nova Rapid Pen Pill. That's what we want. And it comes in a box with 5 of them in there. We want 2 boxes of 5. And this pen controls the units. So you dial this thing up to 1, 2, 3, how many units you want. So you have to be, since I am a continuous glucose monitor person, see at 220, I'd take 2 units of that right now if I had the insulin, but I don't have it. And I'm not going to take the metformin. So I just have to top it out, wait for that to come back down. It will come back down. You can see at what point on my graph, it's hard to see. Let's see, I can turn the brightness way down. And you can see. There, how about that? Yeah, this camera is very sensitive. So let's if I turn the lighting down here, all that, turn that down. It's got all of that gain control in the camera, so it'll lighten up where it needs to. See how, you can see how good that keeps the reflection up. You see at 221. All right, so let's go to my time and range. This is important. You know, as a biochemist, I've been in the banking business my whole life, but I'm actually trained as a biochemist, so that's a good thing. Anyway, so here's my 30-day, and most of my time is in the green. 78% of the time I'm in the green, but 21% of the time, or 22% of the time, I'm out of the green range, and I'm always up. I'm never down. So that's when you take the insulin, when it gets out of range. And I'm watching that. And right now, see, I'm 222. So as I'm digesting and so forth, my lunch, it's my late lunch, I'm paying for it with the glucose. So, you know, so typically what you know, when you get, you know, when you get older, you know, things start falling off. And blood glucose is something that takes a while to manage. So, I guess your pancreas works slower. That's the organ that controls the amount of insulin that's in your bloodstream. So as that gets a little lazy, which is okay. We'll take Novo Rapid, and we just take a little shot of that. So friends of mine that have a similar affliction, if you're going out to lunch, what you do is just take a shot of that, before lunch or at lunch. So that way the insulin, it says rapid, but rapid means like 30 minutes. That's about as Novo Rapid means about 20 to 30 minutes. So you take a shot of that just before lunch. You might, if you're out to lunch, so you go into the bathroom and you just stick that in pick up your shirt and go into your belly there and just stick that sucker in. And that's the end of that. It takes about literally 5 seconds. Because they want you to count to 5 to make sure the whole, I'm not putting 16 units in. Now this holds 3 millimeters, 300 doses. Okay. I'm only putting in 1. So it's a little tiny bit. And it's going through that itty bitty needle. That's the diameter of 2 hairs. So it's a very, very thin needle. It slides right in there. You don't even know it's that tiny. So you can rub yourself with a little alcohol thing if you want to. That's probably the smart thing to do. So you don't, with this giant needle, push in some bacteria. But the needles are really small. And remember, it comes to a point, to a certain degree. Remember, the needle is hollow, so the point is, only goes so far. But it's sharp. It has a sharpened end, so it'll stick in something. But it's not like a Dracula kind of a needle. It's a little tiny little. It's a little bitty needle, which like if you had a pet and you're giving him insulin, which I did. I had a pet that was going blind with the diabetes, and 3 times a day I give him a little injection of insulin. And you have to do it, because if you don't, whoosh, the animal will go crazy, once they get used to having external insulin. So, anyway, so now the animal is going to be Jimmy. Jeez. So, I have a 4 o'clock doctor's teleconference call. I'll bring him right up on my Funkin' Wagnall here. And when the call comes in, we'll just zero him right into my studio, and we'll talk to him. And I'll have all my cameras going. I have the camera off. There's a setting where I can turn it back on. Let's see, where is it? Re-enable built-in camera. Let's re-enable it. Okay, it's been re-enabled. So if I wanted to add that to this little, there we are. So now you can see Uncle Jimmy. Let's turn on this light again. I guess it doesn't matter. The automatic gain control with this unbelievable. All right, so we can We don't want to scare it to death with the frontal view of that. But Dr. Lubin may want to see. Hey, Jimmy, can I see something other than the side of your head? I think. So he's going to come up with, let's see. Come on, that's great. I think I'm going to be able to work that because, see here, he's going to send me a text message. And it's going to come right into here. Yeah, right here. Right on the top of this. And then it's going to have a link. And I just double click that link. And it's going to come right into into all this stuff. So I will talk to him in a microphone. And I'll have headphones on. See how that had a little technology to do our little teleconference call. So, all right, so now that we know that's there. Merrill says they're trying to figure this out, so they're assuming there's possibly mold here. There's not mold. There's no mold. No. There we go. Let's get that out of the picture. There we go. You can see my head. This epidemic is really intoxicating. Epidemic sound. And, you know, when you're essentially broadcasting, you know, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, all the above, you're not allowed to rebroadcast. You know, like sound, audio, or video. See, they don't even like this. You get this this Kabuto stuff, got a little tiny screen on the side. Now, if I took the feed of that and brought it right in here, which I can figure out how to do that, but I'm not gonna bother. They don't like that.
4:39 p.m.
Oh, my watch just told me it's 4:39 p.m. Well, thank you. Anyway, so I could bring it in here and then put it in there. Let's see. They have, there we go, like Infinity. Since I have this hardwired to my computer, I put on live TV. Let's bring this up on the screen. Let's add it. There we go. So now let's go up here to channel 428. There it is. Your world. Got 20 minutes left.
Couldn't have shot it down when it was over Alaska.
I think we need to recognize that the airspace over the state of Alaska, over our territorial waters, is U.S. airspace. And so if it's appropriate...
Look him up. That's going to come up on the screen here. Yeah. There you go. So now I got it in two places. If I plug this red wire in again, it's it'll black out. Let's try it. Bingo. There you go.
grilling defense officials.
I want to know if we knew
show,
what the Chinese were trying to collect.
They go. It'll show anything else I got on here, but not live TV. Anyway, so that's the digging down in the bowels of digital whatever. I usually like to pull out my photos. So Maryland, look at this. Maryland was running a little low in electricity. It's a new world we live in. We don't have gallons of gas anymore. We have fuel and we have range. So I'm trying to stick to something reasonable. So now we have range. Like how many like even today, the brand new cars that you get today, you look at your fuel gauge and it tells you how many miles of range that you have with regard to your gas tank. Even though it's a gas tank with gas in it. Isopropane. Isooctane, sorry. Isooctane, which is gasoline. A mixture of isooctanes. So, let me just move this a bit. There we go. There we go. Trying to get it out of the way. Let's go up here a little bit. There we go. Angle that down. There we go. How's that? Yeah. So now we can see what. Oh, you can see it over here anyway. Anyway, so if I point anything on here, you'll know what I'm doing over there, and I can expand that. Let's look at this. So Maryland went over and plugged into a supercharger. You've heard of the supercharger stations. So it was charging at the rate of 788 miles per hour. In other words, if you sat there in the supercharger station for an hour, you'd end up with 788 miles worth of range. Assuming your battery could hold that much range, which it cannot. It holds about 300 miles of range. Okay, so about half that. So in 20 minutes, you got yourself basically a full tank. Full tank. There's the plug. Now unplugged it in, see, 30 minutes to full charge limit. And so she went in there with 60 miles, and by the time I got this set up and I took a picture of it, print screen. So this happened at 1:21 p.m. So she had a lunch appointment, so on the way back from lunch, there's a supercharger station, within 2,000 feet of her bank. Very nice. It's in the second story, the second floor of a brand new garage building, and they put in 12 superchargers. So when she plugged in, there was 7 being used and 5 empty. So you could just back right in and charge. But there were 7 other people charging up. So these things are becoming, so here's, see, so this is another app that I have that is connected to the car. Because the car, the electronics of the car are accessible over the internet. So you can pick up this information anywhere in the world that there's an internet connection, and it can see your car. And it sees right where it is. See Town Center at Boca Raton, 5820 Glades Road. That's exactly where the car was. And at the time it was 17% full, or about 65 miles. And it was charging at the rate of 941 miles per hour, which is basically so it's in 25 minutes, the car is totally topped off full. 25 minutes, you're full. That's it. And it tells you what time of day it's 1:44. You're done. And yeah. So she pulled in there like 1:15. So 1:25, she's over. 1:44 p.m. to be exact, because you see here, it tells you exactly when it's going to be done. For two reasons. Number one, so you know exactly what it's done. And number two, because you need to get your little fanny out of there, because they penalize you if you stay parked in a supercharger parking space and you're not charging because you're full already. They charge you like $10 for 5 minutes. So they charge you. And they know your number, and they know where you are, and they know whether you're plugged in or not. I mean, it's a computer. Computer, where's Marilyn? She's still in the supercharger parking place, and she's not plugged in. Naughty, naughty mustn't do. Ooh. So, oh God. So that's what that panel's all about. Ooh. Oh, here's my Dr. Thomas Lupin appointment at 4:30. I heard there's something with, on one of these radio talk show things, and they were talking about the fear and greed index. I didn't know there was such a thing, but apparently there is. So Money Guy at CNN, because he didn't know what else to do, came up with his index, and the index is basically saying, watch out, maybe you want to sell. He was giving signals that watch out, because, we're at the top, we're at a point where things are starting to go down. All right, so. Looks like this is trading at 208. I don't know why that says 193 over there, but yeah, streaming quotes not available. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because I'm plugged in, and they don't want me transmitting live streaming information. So it's giving you yesterday closing. Yep. Anyway, so let's see this number down here. 3232. So I'm up. About 9%. Not bad. All right, look at that. Maryland's oops. Let me show you on this on here. We're gonna go to climate controls. You see the air conditioning. The air is coming out of here. It's the interior cabin temperature is 70 degrees. Exterior is 80 degrees. You should set this to 65. Yeah, there we go. So I just set the air conditioner in the car to 65. Like it or not, Marilyn, we got you 65. So interior temperature 69, and then it's going to say 68. It works. location of the car, 2300 Glades Road. There she is. She works right there in the building. And there's the car. I can't, yeah, that's the maximum expando. There's Glades Road. So her building is right off Glades Road. Butts Road. 19th Street. See, there's Butts Road. She'll come up Glades, come right in here. So in preparation for her 5 o'clock ride home, air conditioner's running, I can see it. There you go. We have presets set so that at prescribed times during the day, like when she's getting ready to come home, the air conditioner will pre-cool itself. Because remember, it's all electric. So you don't have a motor running or a 8-cylinder engine flopping around with monoxide gases and all that. It's electric, so it's totally quiet. So your car cabin is now at the desired temperature, which is 65. So it's waiting for Marilyn to get in there. She got 7 or 8 minutes. So the car's cooled down. All the furniture is getting cooled down. You know, I have it set with a cabin heat protection system set at 85 degrees. So she parks in the sun. The cabin will be ventilating itself to make sure the interior temperature doesn't get above 85 or 90. You know, you don't open the door where 150 degree air slams into things. Pretty handy feature. All right, so let's, this is Thursday. We'll have another time to chat tomorrow. So, Epidemius, why don't you take us out? Okay, the crowd wants to go home. All right, Epidemus is they're gonna sing song us out. See you tomorrow. I'm gonna play this back and listen to myself and just see if the audio levels are up to speed when it gets through YouTube and all that. See you tomorrow.